Sarah and Jane were sisters, complete opposites in every way. Sarah, the elder, always craved approval and validation from everyone around her. Jane, the free spirit, danced to her own tune, embracing life with a carefree attitude. Their parents, blinded by Sarah's neediness, showered her with praise and attention. Jane received only indifference, which bred resentment and a sense of isolation. As children, Sarah and Jane were inseparable, sharing secrets and dreams. But as they grew older, their paths diverged. Years passed, and the chasm between them deepened, creating an emotional distance that seemed insurmountable. Jane, finding solace in her independence, built a successful career, thriving on her own terms. Sarah, trapped by her need for validation, drifted from job to job, never finding true satisfaction. Their parents, though aging, continued to favor Sarah, unable to see the damage it caused. In their childhood, Sarah and Jane's bond was strong, filled with laughter and shared adventures. But the seeds of favoritism were sown early. This favoritism, a constant irritant, festered within Jane, leaving her with a lingering sense of injustice and pain. The tension between the sisters eventually erupted into heated arguments, further straining their relationship. Jane often found herself reflecting on their childhood, wondering if things could have been different. Despite the pain and distance, there remained a glimmer of hope that one day they might reconcile and rebuild their bond. Then came David. Charming, successful David. He was the kind of man who turned heads wherever he went, exuding confidence and charisma. His presence was magnetic, drawing people in effortlessly. He swept Jane off her feet. A whirlwind romance culminated in a proposal. Their love story seemed like a fairy tale, perfect in every way. They were the couple everyone admired, the epitome of love and happiness. Jane, ecstatic, shared the news with her family. Her father, though reserved, expressed happiness. He was genuinely pleased for his daughter, his eyes shining with pride. Her mother, however, showered Jane with backhanded compliments. There was a hint of disapproval in her tone, masked by a forced smile. It was clear she had reservations about David. Sarah's reaction was worse. Feigned happiness masked a deep well of envy. She couldn't hide the jealousy that simmered beneath the surface, her eyes betraying her true feelings. She, who had always sought their parents' approval, felt overshadowed. The attention Jane received was a bitter pill to swallow. Sarah felt invisible, her own achievements overlooked. The wedding planning began. Jane, blinded by love, didn't notice Sarah's subtle digs. She was too engrossed in her own happiness, oblivious to the growing tension, the digs about the cost. Sarah's comments were laced with sarcasm, questioning every expense. She made Jane feel guilty for wanting a beautiful wedding. The digs about David's family. She whispered doubts and concerns, planting seeds of discord. Her words were like poison, slowly spreading doubt. The digs about Jane's choices. Every decision Jane made was met with criticism, leaving her feeling defensive and unsure. Sarah's constant negativity was wearing her down. Despite the growing tension, Jane and David's bond grew stronger. They found solace in each other, their love a shield against the negativity. Their connection was unbreakable. But Sarah's jealousy only deepened. She couldn't stand seeing Jane so happy, and it gnawed at her every day. Her frustration turned into a burning desire to disrupt Jane's joy. Jane and David began planning their future together. They talked about buying a house, starting a family, and building a life together. Their dreams were big, and their love was the foundation. Sarah felt left out, her own dreams overshadowed by Jane's happiness. She couldn't help but feel a growing resentment. Her heart ached with unfulfilled desires. Jane and David's joy was infectious. They celebrated with friends and family, their love story a beacon of hope and happiness. Their laughter filled the air, a stark contrast to Sarah's brooding silence. But for Sarah, it was a constant reminder of what she didn't have. Her jealousy grew, and with it a desire to bring Jane down. She felt isolated, her envy consuming her. As Jane and David's wedding day approached, the tension in the family reached a boiling point. Sarah's jealousy was about to erupt. The atmosphere was charged with unspoken words and hidden emotions. Sarah, unable to contain her envy any longer, began to plot. She was determined to ruin Jane's happiness, no matter the cost. Her mind raced with plans, each more devious than the last. As the wedding neared, Sarah's resentment intensified. She began to spin a web of lies, whispering to her mother about Jane's supposed doubts, telling their father that David was only after Jane's money, planting seeds of discord. These lies, fed by Sarah's bitterness, took root. Their parents, always susceptible to Sarah's influence, started to question Jane. The happy occasion became tainted. Jane, confused and hurt, couldn't understand the sudden shift. The wedding, once a joyous anticipation, became heavy with unspoken tension. Sarah's lies didn't stop there. She told Jane that David had been unfaithful, causing Jane to doubt her own heart. Jane's trust in David began to crumble, and the family was torn apart by Sarah's deceit. The once close-knit family was now fractured, each member questioning the other's loyalty. The wedding day arrived, but the joy was overshadowed by the lingering doubts and mistrust. Sarah's web of lies had ensnared everyone, leaving a trail of heartbreak and betrayal. The truth unraveled at the rehearsal dinner. A night meant for celebration turned into a nightmare. What was supposed to be a joyous occasion quickly descended into chaos. A careless remark by Sarah's boyfriend exposed her lies, shattering the facade she had carefully built. The room fell silent as the weight of the revelation sank in. Jane, heartbroken and enraged, confronted Sarah. Accusations flew like daggers, each one cutting deeper than the last. The sisters' bond, once unbreakable, now seemed irreparably damaged. The family, caught in the crossfire, watched in stunned silence, unable to comprehend the depth of the betrayal. Their world had been turned upside down in an instant. The wedding proceeded, but the joy was gone. The air was thick with tension and smiles were forced. What should have been a day of happiness was overshadowed by the previous night's events. Jane, deeply wounded, distanced herself from her family. She felt isolated, her trust shattered. The once close-knit family now felt like strangers to her. She couldn't forgive their blindness, their inability to see through the lies that had torn them apart. The pain of their betrayal was too much to bear. Their willingness to believe the worst about her without question left her feeling betrayed. The whispers and gossip only deepened her sense of isolation. Years later, the rift remained. The family photo, once a symbol of unity, now felt incomplete. The absence of Jane was a constant reminder of the family's brokenness. Jane, successful and independent, questioned the cost of family. She had achieved so much, yet something was missing. The emptiness lingered. Despite her accomplishments, were some bonds beyond repair. She often wondered if the wounds could ever truly heal. The memories of happier times haunted her thoughts. When does loyalty become toxic? The line between love and pain blurred in her mind. She sought answers, but they were elusive. These questions, heavy with consequence, lingered. They haunted her thoughts, day and night. The search for clarity was a constant struggle, a stark reminder that family, though a source of comfort, can also inflict the deepest wounds. The scars, both seen and unseen, remained. The pain was a constant companion. Over time, Jane found solace in new relationships. She built a support network that helped her heal. These new connections brought a sense of belonging she had longed for. She reached out to her family, hoping to mend the broken ties. Letters were exchanged, filled with apologies and reflections. The process was slow, but it was a start. Slowly, the family began to heal. The wounds were deep, but the desire to reconnect was stronger. They took small steps towards rebuilding their bond. Jane and Sarah, once estranged, found a way back to each other. Their bond, though scarred, was resilient. They learned to forgive and move forward. The family, now more aware of their fragility, cherished their time together. They learned to communicate, to forgive, and to love. The lessons of the past made them stronger. Jane's journey was a testament to the power of resilience and the importance of healing. She found peace, not in forgetting but in forgiving. Her story was one of hope and renewal. After the painful revelation at the rehearsal dinner, Jane distanced herself from her family, seeking refuge in her ambitions. The betrayal cut deep, leaving her feeling isolated and misunderstood. She plunged into her career, using work as an escape from the emotional turmoil. The long hours and demanding projects became her sanctuary. Her diligence and talent propelled her to great heights. She became known for her unwavering commitment and exceptional skills. Promotions came swiftly, accolades followed. Jane's name became synonymous with success and excellence. She became a respected figure in her field, a beacon of success and independence. Her achievements were celebrated far and wide, yet beneath the surface the wounds of betrayal festered. The pain lingered, casting a shadow over her accomplishments. Jane's apartment, a sleek high-rise, offered a stunning view of the city skyline. It was a symbol of her hard-earned success. It was a testament to her achievements, but the silence within its walls was deafening. The emptiness echoed her inner loneliness. She filled her days with meetings, projects, and travel, but nights were a different story. The quiet hours brought back memories she tried to forget. Alone with her thoughts, the memories of her family's betrayal resurfaced. The nights were long and filled with restless contemplation. She questioned her worth, wondering why their love had been so easily swayed by lies. The betrayal left her doubting herself and her place in the world. Social gatherings were a minefield. The presence of others only highlighted her sense of isolation. Friends and colleagues admired her success, but Jane often felt like an imposter. The facade of confidence masked her inner turmoil. She wore a mask of confidence, hiding the pain that lingered. The act of pretending became second nature. Trust was a fragile thing, and she struggled to let anyone in, fearing more betrayal. The scars of the past made her wary of new connections. Despite her internal struggles, Jane found solace in new relationships. Slowly, she began to open up to those who showed genuine care. She built a support network of friends who became her chosen family. These bonds provided the emotional support she desperately needed. They offered her the love and understanding she craved. Their presence helped her navigate the complexities of her emotions. Through therapy and self-reflection, Jane began to heal. She confronted her past and worked through her pain. She realized that forgiveness was not about forgetting the past, but about freeing herself from its grip. It was a journey towards inner peace. Years passed and Jane's heart softened. The passage of time brought clarity and a renewed sense of hope. She longed for reconciliation, for the family she had lost. The desire to mend broken relationships grew stronger. She reached out to Sarah, extending an olive branch. The act of reaching out was a significant step towards healing. Letters were exchanged, filled with raw honesty and heartfelt apologies. The written words bridged the gap that had formed between them. Slowly, the walls between them crumbled. The process of rebuilding trust was gradual but rewarding. The family, now more aware of their fragility, cherished their time together. They learned to value each moment. In the end, Jane's journey was one of resilience and growth. She emerged stronger, having faced her deepest fears. She learned that true strength lies in vulnerability, that healing is a process, not a destination. Each step forward was a victory. The family photo, once a painful reminder, now symbolized their hard-earned unity. It represented the love that had been rekindled. Jane found peace, not in forgetting the past, but in embracing it, scars and all. Her journey taught her the power of acceptance. Her story was a testament to the power of forgiveness and the enduring strength of family bonds. It was a journey of love, resilience, and ultimate healing.